Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing out there in the virtual world? Bit of a rhetorical question, I guess, since you can't really answer me. It's what, mid-August now, basically? And the sun's not peeking out until later and later in the morning. So it's getting harder and harder to peel myself out of bed early, but...
It's still like barely even 7 o'clock right now.
I know. And I'm out in a hoodie. It was a little chilly this morning, even for an August standard. And nice to have you with me, Chris. Usually Chris is jumping into her office before 7 a.m. and banging away on her computer, so nice when we have these mornings when you can come out and join me for the walk. And we were just, as a side note, not the topic of this video, but as a side note, we were just chatting about owners that don't ever walk their dogs. First of all, that's pretty weird. Typically, I would say typically, it's owners that have small breeds, and I think a lot of these people like have a backyard and they just think, hey, what? Look, my dog's only this big and I've got this backyard they can run around in, so they get lots of exercise. But, you know, I had mentioned like how weird I think it is sometimes that like people own a house cat. And like this is an animal, man. This is an animal that like is used to roaming around free, and then we put it in a house and we give it a box to poop in, and it never leaves the house. And it's a bit of a strange life for an animal. We used to own ferrets, and that was kind of our ferrets' lives. We would take them out into the backyard on a harness and let them roam around, but like they're slippery little guys, and you know, we didn't want to lose them and have them get harmed out there. But of all the animals we own, owning a dog and not taking it out into the outside world, like that just seems so bizarre.
Isn't it the point of having a dog is to do things with it?
You would think, right? Of all the animals you own, a dog is the closest to like a companion that you take with you and you do stuff. And I just find it weird that there are a lot of owners out there, here, let's cross over this way, a lot of owners that just don't walk their dogs. And listen, man, the walk is not just about exercise. It's about exposure to the outside world and different experiences for your dogs. It's a lot more than just exercise. But anyway, maybe that's a longer topic for a different video. But it is a little weird. Anyway, let's get to the video. So this week, I had an appointment with a deaf client, actually 2 deaf clients. And it was very interesting. No, not the dogs. The clients themselves were deaf. The dog could hear, the clients could not. And it was a very interesting experience. I was actually kind of excited to go because like as somebody that does this job, I'm meeting new people all the time, and I like these experiences. I like meeting new people, and I like challenges, so I thought this was really cool. And my client had said, hey, I really appreciate you coming to meet with us and, you know, taking the patience to work with us. And I thought, well, I mean, first of all, having patience is part of being a dog trainer. So that's just natural to have some patience. And I work with lots of different clients, so, you know, all kinds of people out there, and I have to adjust what I'm doing to each client. And it was a very interesting experience. So I was wondering how we were going to communicate. I had asked if they read lips, because look, I don't know how people communicate.
Plus it's still COVID.
And I said, look, if we're going to be inside, I've got to wear a mask, so like how are we going to do this? So we were outside, but I don't think they read lips. And they had 2 cell phones, and one cell phone had like a voice to text app, so I would talk into the cell phone. They would take a moment to read the information, and then they would type back to me, and I'd read the information. So it was a little bit slow going, but it was okay. We got through our appointment. I got to give them all the information that they needed. And I asked them if their dog was trained on sign language, and they said, of course. And they showed me some American Sign Language that their dog understood. And as if you've watched the videos for any period of time, you know that Penny is deaf. And we've trained her, and people often ask us if she's been trained on American Sign Language. I don't know if you've gotten that question before, but I've gotten it numerous times where people ask, or they see me, you know, giving a hand signal for sit, and they say, why wouldn't you have taught her with American Sign Language?
Well, we don't know it, first of all.
That's right. I mean, to me, that's such a bizarre question because I don't know American Sign Language. And I've been training dogs for years, and a lot of dog training commands are fairly similar. I don't want to say they're standard because everybody uses something different. A lot of people are going to use this as down, or sometimes a point for down. A lot of people are going to use this for sit, or for some reason, maybe somebody can tell me why, I see this a lot for sit. Is that American Sign Language? But I see the fist a lot for sit. I mean, typically people use this for sit and this for down because they used a treat to lure the sit and to lure the down. Hence, the treat lure, the motion of your hand with the treat, turns into the hand signal. So because I've been training dogs for years and I've always used just sort of these semi-standard hand signals, like when I switched to training a deaf dog, why would I all of a sudden go out and learn American Sign Language to teach my deaf dog when the other dog training hand signals I've been using all along?
But also, your hearing dogs, Chicky and Ollie, our hearing dogs, also respond to hand signals.
Yes, but they're the same hand signals I've been teaching dogs
They're the
for
same
years.
hand signals that Penny uses.
So like, it just seemed odd to me when people ask me that, like why I would learn a new set of hand signals that are designed to communicate with deaf human beings and then apply that to a dog when we already have a whole bunch of hand signals. And the reason that we use those hand signals typically is because it's the motion of how we use the treat in the beginning of the teaching phase. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of, it just sort of seemed weird, and it sparked that thought when I worked with the clients this week. And look, it's not a ton, but I'd say maybe 6-7 people over the years have asked me that. Like enough to where I thought, this is getting weird. Why do people keep asking if my deaf dog is trained on American hand signals, like sign language? I just always wondered why people wouldn't just assume I would just use the same sort of hand signals that we typically use in dog training. And Penny's also trained on the vibrate feature on the e-collar. She knows that that is come. So you've seen Penny off leash with all the dogs. So, I mean, with an e-collar and the ability to send her a vibration as a signal to do something, there's lots of times where I don't even really think about Penny being deaf.
It isn't until she does something and we can't get her attention, like runs up the stairs for no reason, and then we're just stuck.
Right. But for the most part, we kind of just work with her the same way we work with all the dogs. It's just a hand signal with her. Penny tends to be a bit more attentive to our hands because she knows that like that is how we communicate with her. So she's often watching, sometimes too closely. Like at meal times, she'll mistake any sort of gesture as like, hey, I can go take my food now, because she's just so amped up and she's just looking for a twitch of your finger to tell her that she can go to eat now or something. But overall, I mean, my experience training deaf dogs for other clients too and owning a deaf dog, it's actually been fairly straightforward. And with the use of the vibration feature on the e-collar, my dog can be off leash, call her over, can handle her the exact same as the other dog. She has the same freedom, so no problem there. So if you have a deaf dog, let me know, maybe put a comment, let me know, did you use American Sign Language, or did you use like what most people would use as like a hand signal for dog training? Just curious how many people are actually using or have learned some things in American Sign Language in order to teach their deaf dog. Anyway, not a lot to say today. I'm going to enjoy the walk with Chris, and I don't want to just sit here with a camera out in front of me talking the whole time. So,
What's weird about that?
well, for me,
that everybody's staring at you.
nothing. This is what we always do. This is what we do on trips, and this is what I do at the skate park. So holding the camera in front of me seems pretty natural at this point. All right, hopefully
Get a picture of you doing it.
yeah, right. Hopefully that made you think a little bit about hand signals and dog training. And if you have any questions, you can always fire me a question in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See you later.